All right, thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Jennings, and this is the Military Minute Podcast. I'm going to start today a little bit different than what we've normally done this, and I'd like you to join me in just thinking about this scenario, whether you're listening to us or whether you're watching us. Just envision this in your mind for a moment. Let's imagine that during your military career, you were able to acquire the home that you want, and that you really just love the house that you bought. You've taken care of it. You've fixed it up. You've groomed up your lawn. Everything looks awesome. You made enough money through your career or maybe through your bonus that you got for a reenlistment or something like that. And now you've gotten what maybe isn't the car of your dreams, but it is definitely one of the cars that you thought, man, you'd never probably be able to afford, but you've got it now and you're really proud of it. You take good care of all this stuff. You wash the car, you wax it. You even hate driving it in the rain, okay? But ultimately, Uncle Sam comes along and he says, you know what? It's time for you to go overseas. It's time to deploy. And whether you're going on a ship for 6, 9, 12 months, or you're deploying to the sandbox or the rock pile someplace, you're going to be gone for a long time. And unfortunately, everybody that you know is in your military unit and they're going with you. You don't have family in the area. And ultimately, to take care of your stuff, you've realized, I only have one option. I need to hire somebody in the neighborhood. So you bring in a couple of kids to interview to see if you're going to feel comfortable with them taking care of your stuff. So after an initial conversation with the first candidate, yes, I've used a lawnmower. I got this kind. I'm good with that. Yes, I've cut lawns before. I understand the basics. I can wash a car, that kind of stuff. And you're taking this person around your yard and around your house to look at what needs to be done. And the person this kid that you're walking around, he isn't really asking a whole lot of questions. Actually, he's really not asking anything at all. He's just kind of, And you kind of get to the end of the process and you say, okay, do you have any questions for me? And he says, how much am I going to get paid? How often are you going to pay me? What are you going to use for that? Oh, by the way, can I take your car out for my date? How's that going to make you feel when you hear that? Is that going to give you a high degree of confidence that this kid is the one to take care of your stuff? Well, why don't we contrast this with the second kid? Beginning of the process goes off the same way. Kid says, yes, I've used a lawnmower. I know how to use it. I know how to wash a car. There, take care of the house. And you walk this kid around. And now as you're walking this kid around, he's noticing as you're outside that you've only been cutting your grass one way. And he asks you the question, so I could keep your grass shorter here, but how often do you want me to cut it? And you're going to tell him, and he says, okay, well, I could cut it that way. Some of the other people it is that I've worked with have said they like it when I change it up, where instead of just going round and round and round in a circle, sometimes I'll cut a cross pattern in a diagonal direction in one way, and then I'll come back perpendicular to that and cut it another way. Would you like that? And you're going to give that answer. And then as he walks around a little bit more, you get to the car, and he's showing you the car. And the kid says, well, I know you don't want me to drive your car. I can see you care a lot about this, but you're going to be gone for a long time. Would you at least like me to start the car periodically to help keep the engine lubricated? And how would you react to that? And then as you're walking through the house, through that part, said, a year is a long time. This house is going to get dusty over that time. How would you like me to do that? Would you like me to dust it periodically to keep it all down, or just do it all at one time whenever you come back? And oh, by the way, you can't store enough food in this house to over a course of a year that's going to be fresh when you come back. I'm sure the last thing that you're going to want to do is to actually have to go buy groceries the moment you've come back from 6, 9, 12 months of being overseas. Would you like me to perhaps put in an order for you and stock your refrigerator, stock your closets? I think this is a bit of a leading question, right? Which of these two kids are you going to be more interested in hiring to take care of this thing that is personal to you? So I use this example to bring this home because this is what's going through the mind of the interviewer that you're talking about. If we go back to our previous episode, we talked about how the beginning of the interview process and the balance of power, this is all on the employer's side. And the beginning phase of this process is they're trying to determine, are you at least minimally qualified for this position? And are you interested in the job enough in order for them to proceed? So what's the answer to showing them that you're interested? It's questions. Questions. Anybody can rehearse and learn the right answers to try to trick or game the system to tell somebody what they want to hear. But questions come from the heart. Questions come from your motivation. So when you've applied for this job, the first step of the process is not only your discovery and their discovery, but the process is for you to get in there and explore what we call the what's and how's. That's the first step of the process. That's the first part of discovery. What does the employer want to be done? What responsibilities do they want you to cover? And how do they want you to do it? Because if you're interested in finding out how what they want you to do and how they want you to do it aligns with the kinds of things that you like to do, because you went through the process of figuring out what were the functional duties that you wanted to do more of, what were the functional duties you want to do less of, how you wanted to be led in those kinds of situations, this discovery process not only shows the employer that you're interested in the job they want you to do, but it also helps you to find out what you want to know anyway. And it satisfies what you're looking for. Because as you're going through this process, asking about the what's and the how's, if this is lining up with what you want, your energy level will probably go up through this process as you're asking those questions. And boy, oh boy, are you making an impression on the other person, because you're showing them not only that you can do the job, that you will do the job because you're interested in it. And that is the first phase of moving across the spectrum of being the choice person who wins the job almost every single time. It's never a sure thing, but this is what starts the process. Show them you're qualified in the beginning. Show them you're interested by asking questions, being curious about what needs to be done, and you're going to be off to a great start. So, thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Jennings. This is the Military Minute Podcast.
Thanks for joining the Military Minute. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you're notified when a new episode is released. Is there a topic or conversation you want discussed here on the show? Send it to me at scott.cunningham@militaryminute.us.